As the Prophet Muhammad said, "Give charity without delay, for it stands in the way of calamity." It's a reminder from our Prophet, giving not only changes lives, it also protects us from mishaps. When we give generously, we receive blessings in return. It's not about the size of your donation, it's about the consistency of your generosity. Even your small contribution can make a big difference in people's lives. Visit umrrelief.org today and join us on our journey to changing lives.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Assalamu alaikum everyone and Ramadan Mubarak. I'm happy to have you all with us again on our ITV USA show, Balancing Deen and Dunya. Thank you to UMR for being a sponsor of this program, and thank you viewers for joining us every day in Ramadan, where we get to speak to influential community leaders, people who are really making change in our Muslim American communities, and to learn more about the work that they do. Today, we have an incredible inspirational leader with us, our brother Oussama Jammal, who is the Secretary General of the U.S. Council of Muslim Organizations. He resides in Chicago, and he's joining us here today to tell us a little bit more about the work that he does as one of the leaders of the council, the work that the council itself does, and particularly during trying times as the times that we are currently living in, how he's able to manage being the leader of an organization that unites many, many other nonprofit organizations together in the U.S. So without further ado, we welcome Brother Oussama to our show.
Thank you, Sister Suzy. Assalamu alaikum to our audience and viewers on this incredible ITV, which I believe is a great window for the Muslim community to be able to speak to listen to, and to share community matters. Ramadan Mubarak to everyone. SubhanAllah, this month always has its own impact on our lives and our spiritual needs, and probably this is the greatest gift Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us in our life, to enjoy an intimate contact with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, His words, and to live a few minutes in our life closely and appreciating the blessings that He has given us. The U.S. Council of Muslim Organization, as we have explained in the past, is an umbrella organization of Muslim American organizations that span from coast to coast and includes national organization, local councils, relief organizations, mosques, all kinds. Alhamdulillah, the diversity of the council makes it truly a cross-section of the community. Civil rights, legal rights, grassroots, you name it, youth organizations, the Rohingya, the Palestinian, the Bengali, the Pakistani, the Arabs. Alhamdulillah, this is the beauty of Islam, and this is the beauty of our community, that we are coming from all part of the world. Unite us is our faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, our deen and Islam. And we cherish a special relationship being in America here, that where we come together knowing that our relationship is our faith and our deen, and we take care of each other. So the council is about empowering the Muslim community, amplifying their voice. It is about bringing a sort of unity that is missed in the Muslim world. It is about feeling the need to contribute collectively and to examine our own communal needs collectively, and to utilize the collective wisdom of our leadership, of our imams, of our community leaders, that we can come together and try to address issues that are very important for our community. So this is the beauty, and this is what I love about the U.S. Council of Muslim Organizations. It gives me the opportunity to meet with other leaders, work with other leaders, understand the needs of our community, and we do our best to address those needs.
Alhamdulillah. Jazakallah khair for giving us that opening understanding of the organization and what it is that it does. I think, having that sense of unity, really that sense of a united ummah, being a front in which many Muslim organizations can stand shoulder to shoulder, advocating for things collectively is much more impactful than when we try to operate in a silo. So I know, Brother Oussama, in recent events, we've really been struggling, I think, as, for many leaders of Muslim organizations, and I know for the U.S. Council as well, I'm sure, trying to strike that balance of, how do we continue to focus our work on the U.S., of course, and what it means to be a Muslim American, while also recognizing the pain that we as a Muslim community are all feeling from what is happening in Gaza. And of course, we see horrendous things happening to Muslims all over the world and how that impacts us. I recently saw that your organization had put out a statement speaking about what is happening in Gaza and the response of the American Muslim community at large. Can you talk a little bit more about that? How do you navigate that space?
Sure. Certainly, the Muslim American community is placed in a very unique situation. As Americans, and we live in America, we do have our own issues. We do have our own projects. We have own interest and the things that we need to focus on. It's a growing community, our youth, our institutions, our relationship with the rest of our fellow citizens, and as well as American institutions and governments. We have a full time of issues that we need to address. But at the same time, we belong to a Muslim ummah that we came from. It is our motherland. It is still our families, and and also the United States is a superpower. The United States has interest in many parts of around the world, and therefore its foreign policy that it conducts overseas does impact us and does affect us, and therefore we are brought into this by the policy that our government conducts overseas. And the same time, whatever happens overseas, because of the connections and the relationship with the community in America, we became concerned about what happens over there. So we take it from both sides, and that's put us in the middle, and that we need to navigate a very tough situation. But however, we do have an obligation, our obligation as American citizens, that we need to advise our government on issues when it comes to any part of the Muslim world, because we come from that part of the world. We can be an honest advisor to our government, to guide them through what's really is important for us to have a good relationship between these Muslim countries and America. It is vital. It is our most important relationship that we care about, is to have a good relationship between the United States and the Muslim world. And we try also to educate our connections in the Muslim world through our families and in the countries that we came from, how important it is to have that relationship with the United States. Unfortunately, sometimes there are misguided policies, sometimes mistaken policies. And one of those is what's been happening today in Gaza. We cannot ignore what's happening in Gaza because the whole world is watching. It is purely a genocide committed against people who have been under siege for more than 17 years. And those, unfortunately, sparked the kind of response or scream from the Palestinian people that attention need to be given to their situation, attention need to be given to their plight, and it is about time that our policy towards that region give more attention. we have seen in Gaza these days is just unprecedented. It is a purely genocide. Everybody, to bring this to the International Court of Justice, it has merits. It did not come from vacuum. It was not just a speculation. It was truth on the grounds that there are people been wiped out of the face of the earth, children, women, elderly, hospitals, schools, paramedics. Everything has been bombed. Everything has been shot at. You cannot ignore that. You cannot pretend that this is not happening. So we have an obligation. This obligation is to bring the truth, is to share it with the American people, and also to bring it to the attention of our government that we need to take a stand that is known to be for the United States of America, that we stand for the right of people, that we stand for justice, and we cannot allow support for this genocide that is taken out. So you can see how critical, how difficult is the position of the Muslim American community. And we have to make those statements. We have to bring it to the attention of our elected officials that this is going to ruin the relationship of the United States with the Muslim world. And also the Palestinian issue is long overdue to bring it to solution. The Palestinians cannot endure forever suffering of whole state, no end at the end of the tunnel. So that's why I think it was incumbent on every Muslim American to participate, and I'm very proud. I must say I have never seen such a collective, united passion and hard work that I have seen with the Muslim community from all backgrounds. Truly brings us to pride that this is a community that is alive, that's a community that takes responsibility and rise to the occasion when there are serious issues that pertain to human rights and freedom. So the U.S. Council, this is our role. This is the time that we really have to bring everyone together and be able to bring the voice of the Muslim American to our elected officials. So the USCMO was very busy, obviously, and the whole community was busy. And of course, to coordinate it, to bring everybody to kind of concerted effort takes a lot of efforts. And, but again, I'm very proud. My brothers and sisters in the council are very proud the way that our community has responded, has reacted, has come forward, the donation that they make, the efforts that they do. Many people went to Gaza, many doctors went to Gaza to help in different ways. And I think this is remarkable. This is what makes the American community unique in its efforts and its role as loyal and good citizens is to bring truth to our governments.
Absolutely. And alhamdulillah, I think, as difficult as it is to watch, the suffering of people in Gaza, I think to see many American Muslims kind of rising to the occasion and acting as one unit has been also very uplifting. So, backstage before we started this episode, Brother Oussama, you had mentioned that you had just gotten back from Azerbaijan. I know there was a large Islamophobia conference there. So I'm guessing that was likely where you were at. And you talked a little bit about education and the key elements of education. What role does your organization play in educating others and combating Islamophobia? What is it that your organization particularly does in that niche?
Yeah, well, since you brought that up, it is true. I was in Azerbaijan attending a conference about a clash of civilizations and the rise of Islamophobia. And I was fortunate enough to meet with so many incredible people and activists and academics, and as well as leaders from around the world. And I was particularly happy to see many of my colleagues from the U.S. also participating in this conference. This is one of the efforts that the USCMO, the U.S. Council of Muslim Organizations, do to highlight the importance of Islamophobia in unfortunately ruining relationship among faith groups. And into today's civilization, when we need to come together more than we need to be divided. So the conference was to put some kind of focus on what is happening around the world, the phenomenon of Islamophobia, why it came, from what sources, and the contributors of that, and the impact on societies and impact on relationship among faith groups and faith societies. The U.S. Council of Muslim Organizations stands firmly against any hate. Hate that against any group, any faith, because we believe this is a disease. This is dangerous to harmony in any society within Muslim countries or Western countries. In America, in particular, this is something that we stand against: Islamophobia, anti-Semitism, against any other groups that could be attacked just because of their faith or because of their race. This is absolutely unacceptable. We have seen how much African Americans have suffered. So Islamophobia became another product of hate that is unfortunately start to rise in the United States, in Europe in particularly, and unfortunately became like a cancer. Spread to India, and we have seen how Indian Muslims suffer in India. We have seen that in China with the Uyghurs there. We have seen in different places. So this is something we need to have collective effort to address this issue, and to make sure that whatever has inspired or triggered this kind of hate to be addressed, to make sure that we talk about it, and at the same time we make it firm that Islamophobia or hate in general is not tolerated, is not acceptable, is not allowed, because that will ruin the harmony of societies. So the U.S. Council stands with our member organizations in fighting this through education, seminars, meetings, conferences like this that happens around the world. The other day we had our annual, the USCMO, National Council of the Churches. We have an annual meetings, and it was part of our agenda. We talked about Islamophobia, and our partners were very grateful for the information that they have received, and they have learned a lot about what's happening and what Islamophobia is all about. So these are the types of things that we engage in. We bring those specialists and experts in this field to shed more light and to share the information with other people. And so it is a collective effort. It is going to be always a collective effort when it comes to major issues like this.
Yeah. And so, I love that we've talked a little bit about, political stances. We've talked a little bit about Islamophobia, but I also know that as part of your work, you focus on domestic issues related to family, related to youth, related to women. I know our paths have crossed before, whether it was at conferences or programs or meetings, kind of discussing some of the issues that impact, the Muslim American family unit, here in the US. In your role as the leader of this organization, what do you currently see as being maybe one of the prevalent issues that our Muslim American families are dealing with?
Well, I tell you, there are many issues. As being part of the American society, we suffer what it suffers. We enjoy what it enjoys, and we are challenged with the same challenges that are out there for everyone. Of course, there are particulars for the Muslim community because we have a certain, faith-based values, way of life, certain things that we have an extra to pay attention to. But in general, whatever that's out there that is threatening our society, bullying is one of the issues that our students, our kids face in schools. Political issues, just like Gaza, like others, impact our people at their work places, our kids in schools. And you can imagine some people have have been denied employment. Some people have been fired because of that. All of these are issues that the community deal with. Certainly, youth issues are one of the major issues, and we are so happy this year that the Muslim Student Association National, MSA National, has joined USCMO. So now we have, more organizations within our fold that pay attention to youth. And we, inshallah, look forward this year to have the first National Muslim Youth Conference that we will be holding. Last year, we held the first National Muslim Women Conference, and basically give space for our sisters to discuss issues of importance to them, to enhance leadership skills, to talk about projects, to talk about successes, and also the challenges that they face. So the U.S. Council of Muslim Organization tried to address and give space and support different areas and different groups within our community. We must take a pride also in one of the major and unique projects that we have undertaken last year and continue into this year, which is the Twin Mosque Initiative. The Twin Mosque Initiative is basically bringing an African-American Muslim mosque and an immigrant mosque together, and have the two communities work through programs, through activities that strengthen the relationship between the two. And they go through 4 phases. Each phase, they will be able to achieve what we call seal of equity. And this seal of equity starts from the bronze to silver to gold to platinum. And basically, it shows the progress that they make in their relationship to address various issues, and that will strengthen this relationship. That will give more appreciation to our unique contribution to our community and to our society. African Americans had made a tremendous contribution to Muslim communities in particular. As we come, they have spearheaded the civil rights, which made the immigrant community, when they come to the United States, they will be able to talk about their rights and their civil rights. The immigrant community can contribute in many aspects to bring our African-American community, and together we can make an amazing contribution to our community as well as to the society at large. This unique project, alhamdulillah, has been in different states and different cities. And I think this will be a role model, not only within our community, but also to society at large, because it is about time that we look into this relationship. We are one community, and we need to take care of each other. And as the immigrant community thrive, and alhamdulillah, we build multi-million masajid and institutions, our African-American community should also be along that kind of a growth that we have, and exchanging our experience, our leadership, our teachers, our students, our activities would definitely enhance the status and the level of leadership among our communities, and especially these two. So that's the kind of things that we involved in, and the list goes on, but we want to be respectful of the time of the program.
No, and I love that initiative. I know you had shared a little bit about it before with me. I think it's an incredible way of creating more of that unity, which seems to be the motivation and the mission maybe at USCMO, is creating a sense of unity between the very diverse and many organizations that exist. So I know, looking at some of the member organizations, currently you do have the MSA National, as you said, your newest organization, you have the Muslim Legal Fund, you have ICNA, you have so many different organizations under your umbrella. And for all of these organizations, I think the members of the organizations will often look to the leaders for their own, guidance kind of in terms of how to navigate their space here in the US. I know CARE is one of your organizations as well. as we head into this very critical, pivotal election year, I think there's a lot of people very confused in terms of where to go and what to do. And, with each of those organizations under your umbrella, I'm sure there have been meetings with leadership, there have been conversations, of how these leaders can also help their members in navigating this space. Without necessarily, giving political advice, since that's not what our show is about. But how would you kind of guide people to engage in the days to come, knowing that we've got politicians on either side kind of trying to figure out where's the Muslim American vote going to go?
Sure. Well, thank you. This is a very good question and very timely questions. And this is, I want to tell our audience here that you see how important it is to have a council that brings our community and our organizations and our leadership. The council is not about individual membership. It is about organizational membership. So the organizational membership brings its leaders to this council. And that gives us the opportunity to talk with each other, to counsel with each other, to share our thoughts, and to come with a collective decision at the end of deliberations, discussions, and looking at the different views, and also utilize the specialty and the expertise of our individual organization that make up the council. So it is a little bit of a commercial, but I would like to invite everyone who have a mosque, who have an organization, to join the USCMO, because we need your input. We need the leadership input. We need your expertise input, because collectively we will be able to help our community in different aspects. And one of them is the elections, and the other one is about tackling the issues that we face in our societies, and so on and so forth. So to go back to the elections, one thing that I would definitely, my advice, and not only advice, but my request, my urge to every Muslim American to register to vote. This is a civic duty. This is an obligation to us. This is a right that many in the Muslim world do not have it. They die for it and they could not get it. We have it here. This is our obligation as citizens in this country to register to vote and to vote. Who to vote for is up to your local groups, how you discuss things, what's important. Remember, when we vote for an elected official, that elected official has an obligation to serve his or her constituents. So that's how our government works. You select to the best of your ability and knowledge the people you think that they will serve the country best, and so you make a vote for them. So, for instance, in your district, your district needs certain things to be improved. You have roads, you have schools, you have things that you need to make sure that the representative can pay attention and do the things that needed for your district. Then you need to vote for that person. And when it goes to a larger scale, again, those representatives who go to Congress, you want to make sure that Congress make the right decisions, the right legislations. And without your input to your representative may not know what to vote for or to ask for, or may go with someone else and make something that is completely not to what you would love them to have. So that's why engaging in the political process takes register to vote, and you engage with your representative. Educate your representative on the issues that you think that are very important for you and for your community. Once those are educated and informed, and they know what exactly you hold them accountable, how they vote, what they do, what they bring to their district. And the same thing applies all the way up to the President of the United States of America. And certainly we monitor, we check their positions and how much they make our country safe, how much they make sound policies that make United States has a good relationship with other countries, especially the countries that we come from. And so all of these are obligations. All of these are part of being citizens in this country. So the political process here and the political engagement is really not, we have to take it very seriously. because its impact and the results that it comes out really affect our community. It affects your children, it affects your house, it affects your neighborhood, it affects the rate of your mortgage, it affects the how much funding goes to your school, it affects the college loans that your kids have to take in order to finish their education. It affects every aspect of us. It affects the foreign policy. Look how much Gaza is suffering. If we had a ceasefire a long time ago, how many innocent lives would have been saved? We have to build that pressure. It is an obligation. It is an obligation. It is a right, and we have to exercise that right. And I think at the U.S. Council, we discuss how we can mobilize the community, how we can encourage the community to take part of this political process. And the more we have membership, the more we will be able to share that and mobilize our community. So that's what we do, and that's how we are handling the situation right now.
Yeah, no, Jazakallah khair. Thank you for giving us that full explanation. And I'm sure there's so much more that you could share with us about the council and about your work in the council. But we have come to the end of our program today. I do hope that for our viewers, the takeaways are, first of all, checking out the U.S. Council of
Muslim organization.
I wanted to make sure that I said it correctly. So
yes, USCMO. The USCMO.
Yes. So make sure that you check out their website, learn a little bit more about the member organizations that are there. If you are part of an organization, a leader of an organization, if you are part of a mosque, a masjid board, make sure that you look into how you can be a part of the council, because I do think that having an umbrella organization that unites us all is one of the first steps, I think, in that process of being able to have our Muslim American voices really be heard and be understood loud and clear. So Jazakallah khair, Brother Oussama, for joining us on our show. Ramadan Mubarak to you and to all of our viewers. And thank you again to ITV USA for hosting this program and UMR for being a sponsor. Jazakumullah khair. Wassalamu alaikum.
Right. Thank you.